had an idea of what to do. And some woman, I was just so thankful, some woman in Florida who's an electrical engineer and happens to love soft circuits the way I do, and has experience with Lilypad-Arduino, is happened to write it back. So, even though you saw me working at a desk by myself yesterday and today, I have been on the phone with her, Skyping with her, and also doing coding with her. I also posted that I wanted a female team member because there's a strong movement in Philly of building coding opportunities for women and bringing the community together. So my first hackathon this year was Lady Hacks, and I was lucky that someone from Azavia happened to mention the NASA Space Apps Challenge and totally got me psyched for it. So I have you to blame, thank you. So, Derek Pitts, you happen to bring up, and the person's name in Florida is J. Brooks Stern, so please put that in video so she knows I said her name. On Friday night, Derek Pitts, you happen to mention the space station, said, how many of you know? Beautiful apps out there, plenty of information, but the reality is, only geeks like us know. We are the ones that know it flies overhead. So I decided to create sort of a media device that when you go to your next happy hour, you can show off and say, yes, there is a space station and it does orbit our planet. So this is my model skirt. I'm going to turn it on first. It's in demo mode right now. That sounds like so official.
That may be the first time I've ever heard anybody say this skirt is going to demo mode.
Okay, so basically this is using an Arduino. For anybody who's a DIYer, you know that Arduino is the coolest gizmo that you can make gadgets with. You can make things talk, you can make things react, have motors, and all sorts of things. It just so happens that I had a class on that at the Hacktory, and then found out there's something called Lilypad-Arduino, which is no bigger than a 50-cent piece, and it is stitchable into clothing. This thing is very female-friendly. It looks like a flower, but it actually has pins, although we call them petals, those of us that love it. It was designed by Leah Beakley, and she has all sorts of parts that align with this particular piece. So, what you can barely see hidden in the pocket is a 5-volt system. It's just using a 1.5-volt battery, but it jumps it up to 5. It has an on-off switch. What's hard to see is way under here. I try to hide the hardware because most often people can't. That is the Lilypad device microcontroller. It's actually on the pocket because I was trying really hard. You can see how ugly the stitching is. That's because if you want to control 17 LEDs which orbit around the skirt, you need to have 17 lines of stitching. So you can only imagine that if I started stitching yesterday, how many hours of sleep I got, and why I showed up at 11 today, and coding didn't happen until 11:30, except for my partner working on it in advance. So that's what we have. So this actually will run a 91-minute cycle. The idea is that it will track and relocate, and then when it stops, that's sort of supposed to show time increment. So if you run it on a 91-minute cycle, I think it's like every 5.24 minutes, before the next shift to the next LED. So it's not quite done yet, but eventually these will track sort of like Knight Rider. I'm like dating myself here. So it will track around and then relocate to the next LED. And when it lands on planet Earth, which by the way is a NASA image that I did an iron-on transfer for, color slightly because I wanted to go with the color theme skirt. There is a blue LED, and I did pick white LEDs and one blue LED on planet Earth to say that that's the end of a 91-minute cycle. And that's basically my baby. So it's been an awful lot of fun, and I think at Lady Hacks they said the first thing is to just show up. Mine was show up incomplete, and there was no way in hell I was not going to complete this work. So thank you for encouraging me. I totally want to become someone who teaches like anything that has to do with taking wearables or physical objects and making them totally fuzzy, lovey-dovey, and smart. I believe in smart art. So thank you so much. Thanks for encouraging women, and I know NASA actually encourages women. So thanks to everybody here.
Woo!
Judges have 10 seconds if they want to ask questions.
Do those skirts come in my size?